Hello, my name's Hobie and with me is Chris.
Alright.
And today we're going to be talking about Guild Wars 2, which I've finally got, even though it's been out for about, August 28th, month.
Yeah.
Oh, right, well.
Although I pre-ordered it, so I got it 3 days early.
Yeah,
So I've been
3
playing
days
it
early.
for some weeks.
Well, that was the first thing I was going to mention. The reason I had it so late is because I didn't pre-order it, but they actually stopped selling it because they wanted to let the gamers that have bought it, and because there were so many that bought it straight away, they didn't want more and more people there, which I thought was good. I mean, obviously I'm on the other side, twiddling my thumbs going, I want to play Guild Wars. I wasn't allowed to.
Do you wish you pre-ordered it?
Yes, I wish I pre-ordered it because I've been playing it for like 2 days straight and I love it. I love it. Better than Guild Wars 1, which I loved. Probably better than Star Wars: The Old Republic for certain reasons that I wanted to talk to you about. But well, Chris, I mean, you've been playing it for longer. What do you think of it?
Totally agree.
Totally
Agree. Better than 1, better than probably the best online role-playing game I have played, and I've played quite a few of them. Although when I think of number 1, that was my first online role-playing game. So
Had to measure up.
yeah, it's like when I try and compare Oblivion to Skyrim. Skyrim's better, but Oblivion, it holds such a dear place in my heart, kind of thing. It's like I can't slag it off. It's like number 1 was pretty damn good. Number 2 is pretty damn good too.
Any gripes?
Well, the only thing I find is, I don't know if it's just how I am, but I paid more attention to the storyline in number 1. I do think that's because it was a little bit more interesting. This one kind of is just passing me by. I'm not really paying attention to it, but that could also be down to something else, which we'll probably come back to. But how far are you? Like, what have you done?
Well, spoiler alert, I guess. I started in the human. I'm a human. I'm a ranger. I think I'm about level 22 now. And yeah, well, this is the point. I've been waiting for when it announced 4 or 5 years ago. I've been on the website almost every other day of the week. So when I got it, I was really going for it, you know. The only thing that I've found wrong with it, and this isn't even wrong, it's just I would have expected a little bit more. You know how when you start your character creation, you get I was raised by nobles or blah blah blah, and obviously every race has its own different choices of backstory and everything. I'm surprised that they didn't let you choose what type of human you were. So, because obviously Kryta's the only nation left. But there wasn't a thing to say, but I'm descended from Escalon, or I'm descended from Or I'm actually from Ilona, but I can't get back because...
Would you want that to create another path?
Possibly, yeah. Because, I mean, and I know that I wouldn't expect, because I've only just found the Escalon settlement, and this is where I'm bringing it up, and I was like, so it means that my character now is definitely from Kryta, not from Escalon, or he'd be in the settlement, which means he's not related to my Guild Wars 1 character. And I know that sounds weird, but considering if you sync accounts, you get the Eye of the North, and you get your legacies, like weapons and pets and stuff. And I'm just thinking, I haven't gone there because I don't know how to get there yet. But I was just like, well, it's not really mine then if my guy's Krytan.
Well, 500 years is 500 years past, so
250.
It could be is it 250? Could be some vague descendant, who knows? But that's not really a problem with the game.
Well, no, yeah, exactly. It's just a teeny tiny gripe that I was like, because I loved the idea of the Ebon Hawk and the Ebon Vanguard and everything, and I was like, brilliant, Ascalon's still going for it. I wanted it for me to be, I'm Ascalonian and I don't like the Char. But it's sort of been like,
everyone's friends.
Yeah, everyone's friends, so you can't fight the Char. But maybe later on, you never know, because I know you get to go everywhere, give or take, I mean.
That's one thing. When I first looked at the map and everything, I was like, oh yeah, it's exactly the same. I remember going there, but
you can tell that times.
Yeah, but by the looks of it, you don't go down into the volcano-y.
Oh, do you not?
Or do you? Well, you don't really go down to the desert, I think. It's what you can see on the map where it says the area is level 1 to whatever. Yeah. There isn't that down there. So it's kind of, and also the sort of the foresty bit where there's like spiders. Yeah, I think you dip into that, but you don't go deep into it like you did in the first one. Little things like that. I thought there would be a little bit more, but then again, the areas which you do get, they are big areas. So it's like, I don't know. It is a big map. I haven't explored all of it, but I'm getting there, sort of thing.
Well, that's what I wanted to say as well. With the little things, and this will tie into the exploration as a whole. First of all, I love the fact that you can go off and get points of interests and sort of like the Assassin's Creed, get to the top of a building.
I love those ones. Well, I love some of them. Some of them are bastards to get because they're just, one wrong step and you plummet kind of thing. But I do like that. That is a good thing.
Well, what I was going to mention with the little things is I was surprised, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct in this, but you can tell that the people that made Guild Wars Arena, they're in love with it more so than us, because, like you said, there are little nods and everything, which I found. And, like, for example, you play a human, right?
Yeah.
Have you got to the point in the storyline where you've gone to the Queen?
Yeah.
Her throne room, there's this massive rock at the back.
Yeah.
That's part of the Bloodstone.
Was it?
Yeah. I was just...
There probably are so many of those sort of things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I was like, so they've... And it wasn't the entire Bloodstone, because if I remember correctly, even though I haven't played Guild Wars in years, you had to go to Guild Wars... You had to go to the Bloodstone and stop the White Mantle. And then... I think it fractures because of what you do. And there it is. It's like a third of the Bloodstone, which is her throne, and they've carved a bit out of it, and that's where she sits. And I was like, that's just... When I realised that, and then I was looking through, and they've got like art from the Ghosts of Ascalon book is one of the tablets in the Historian's Little Bit. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that's amazing.
I have come across like a few little bits like that where people mention stuff of like, oh... this place was haunted by ghosts, like that underground crypt bit, and I was like, I remember that kind of thing. And in Lion's Arch as well, there are a couple of things there, like there's a submerged area and things like that, and you're like, what's that? You try and match it to what you remember, sort of thing. But again, it's been so long since I played that, I can't remember as much of it. But I'm sure there are so many references that are going a little bit over my head. But yeah, there are definitely some.
Well, one last bit I remember, I was going around. Oh god, what's the human capital?
Divinity's Reach.
Divinity's Reach. There you go. I was thinking like Queen something. No,
that's the area below, isn't it?
I was going through and I found some little kids, and if you press Alt, all the like friendlies names come up, and it said like Gwen, but it was in apostrophes, and there was one called Jorah. Yeah, but it was. I immediately thought, oh, Gwen's Flute, how funny. But then I actually went up and talked to the kids, and it turns out they were playing as if they were pretending that they were like remembering these heroes from Guild Wars 1, being like, oh yeah, I'll be Gwen. No, you can be the bad guy. You can be the grubs and all of that. And I was like, oh my god, that's...
So there's probably things like that where you talk to people. I mean, I don't really talk to many people, so I don't really pay much attention to what they say. So again, I could be missing a lot of references there too, but I mean, I'm not moaning about it. That's my problem. I mean, it is brilliant. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think as well. Storyline. I know it's like you said, it's passing you over, but I still enjoy it. It's a bit slow, granted, but I'm still at the very beginning.
That's my problem. It's slow,
and I can't wait to see where it goes, because I imagine they'll send you everywhere. Like even if you start in human, I imagine they'll send you up to the Char, and because. Unless everyone has their start bits and then they all go to a point.
I think that's how it is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's still, I mean...
At least that's how it has been for me so far, sort of thing. And I doubt I'll be going to the Char area.
Yeah.
Because now I'm at missions where it's like level 40-something.
Fair enough.
The Char area is like...
But they do scale you down, so you never know.
True, but it just seems a bit pointless why you go there.
Fair.
How much have you explored?
Well, I've been in Divinity's Reach, Queensdale, and then...
You quickly teleported over, did you, to Ascalon area?
Well, no, I got to the point where it was like, go to this new map, you're at that level sort of thing, even though I'm not at that level, which I'll mention later. And then it said Beetleton, which was one of the places in Guild Wars 1, and I was like, oh my god. And then it was like, oh, the Ascalon settlement's over there. I dropped everything and just headed for it because I was like, I wanted to see it.
Well, that's how I was when I was playing the beta. When I found these portals to these far away, I was like, Lion's Arch. Straight there. I went straight there to have a look at it. But yeah, my brother took me over to Ascalon for us to do this dungeon bit, and I just stayed there, sort of thing. I was exploring the area south of where I started, but I just went over. I was like, I'm gonna stay it. I love it. It's Ascalon. So I just went around exploring. That is a good way of getting your level up. I found just exploring and doing the side ones because you get a lot of XP that way.
I tried staying away from the big ones, but crafting I like.
Crafting is very good. Again, it's a good way of getting your XP up and having cool weapons and armor and stuff like that.
And underwater, it's immense. I couldn't believe, like, because they said that you could go underwater, and I was like, oh yeah, it probably just means that you can swim or whatever. But the fact that you actually have like underwater races that you can go and buy stuff from them, and it's a town underwater, and it's.
But
like,
how are you finding fighting underwater?
Oh god,
it gets
difficult
on
as
my
ever.
nerves.
Because
it really gets on my nerves. It's like no matter how powerful I am, I get completely like I'm like a child again. It's like my powers are barely affect the fish, and it's like for crying out loud. And I'm got the powers and everything. It's not like I'm lacking behind, but it just really does take away a lot of your ability just by going underwater.
Well, that's the thing, because you only get your 5 weapon skills and you heal, and then you can't even use certain heals depending on what class you play. So, for example, I'm a ranger, and most of your heals are to do with you and your pet. But then you get one which is like a nature heal, which is an area of effect, which I always use, and you can't use that underwater and stuff like that. But, good point, ranger pets, I've got a pet shark.
Yeah, but is that the only pet you've got? Because
I've got like 4 or 5, but I saw it and it was like a shark, and I shat myself because in real life I'm scared of sharks. Yeah. And then it wasn't attacking me, and I was like, oh my god. So I swam over and it went charm pet, and then it comes up and it's like, oh congratulations, this is your pet shark. And then it's like the guy was talking to me going, I know right, pet shark, how awesome is that? Blah, blah. And I was like, love it. So I've got a shark and an eagle as a pet.
Oh yeah, I know the eagle. That's the thing. It's like there's loads of them. I'm looking forward to when I do a ranger because I want to collect all the animals, kind of thing. You just run around finding them all. I don't know what I'd have. I'd probably have a bear.
Well, you can start with a bear as a ranger. I was hoping this was another nod that I'm hoping still there because it was in Ascalon or whatever. But in the first Guild Wars, if you had a pet, you could train a Melandru Stalker. And all it was is a sort of like jaguar cat type thing, but it was only ever around like a shrine to Melandru. And they weren't even rare. That was like the first pet you could tame, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was just like a black panther type cat, but it was called a Melandru Stalker because they only hung around the shrines of Melandru. And then after pre-searing, post-searing, if you were a ranger, you actually got another quest to go to the guy that taught you how to charm pets, and he was like, I know we've got war going on, but I'm really worried that there are no more Melandru Stalkers heading about. Come with me. And you go off and try and find them again, and you're like, oh my god, there's still 2 alive. How brilliant is that? So I'm really hoping there's one in the game that I can retrain just for the fact that it would be like,
well, I don't see why they wouldn't put it in if it was such a big part of number 1. How are you finding combat, the actual fighting?
Yeah, I don't care what anyone else says. Jump's pointless. I know jump is only there. Jump is only there for.
Right, yeah, okay. Jump is
jump high sort of thing. Get on top of this building. Like you don't need jump in the game, and it's in no way helps or hinders your combat. Even though you see everyone else running around and being twats. But the combat rolls are good because that does actually evade. I was very much like that. And to be honest, because I'm so used to being in my way of just now I'll press 1, now I'll press 2, now I'll press 3 for different attacks. I don't control the battlefield like they're obviously going for with all the area effect things. So I just stand there drumming away with my bow. Occasionally I'll do a special move or whatever. But I do like the combat. It's very well done. And that it does sort of remind me of Star Wars The Old Republic in a bit in that. Like, because I'm a ranger, so I get a volley, which is an area effect, which is very similar to the bounty hunter, fly up.
Yeah, because I can like rain down fire and stuff like
exactly.
that.
So, but, I mean, obviously there's only so much you can do with what you've got, but they have really pushed the boundaries, and I am loving it. And I can't wait to get higher. I'm going to do all the races, even the char. And to be fair as well, the people that play the char, which is weird as well because I'm seeing Char run around in the starting areas and I'm like, what's the Char doing with it? But to be fair, the people that play the Char that I've encountered, they're always the nicest ones. Whenever I fall over and die or whatever, which is a lot because I'm always so lower level to where I should be because I can't figure out how to get higher. It's always the Char people that seem to be running around. Char and Norn. The little Sylvari, they leave me alone in the morning. And other humans
get healed by people.
Yeah, but I've noticed it's always
the
Char.
Do you heal people?
Yeah. I have a habit of healing NPCs. So like, if you see a dead Seraph,
I only do that if
them.
I'm a bit screwed in a fight and I need someone to take the flak because they just run in and draw the attention. And I just rain fire on them or erupt the ground with lava and stuff like that.
But no, I heal. I mean, because that's another thing I like. In Guild Wars 1, I didn't play in groups until I found a really hard level. I never played in groups. With this one, and I haven't done any dungeons where you'll need a group because I don't know if you get dungeons or if you just find them.
You do have dungeons, though. I think I don't know if it's when you get to a certain level or a certain amount of exploration, you get a letter and it says, "Oh, it's dungeon sort of thing," and it shows you. I think I've got access to about 3 of them, but it recommends a group, strongly recommends some. So I haven't done it yet. I think it was a bit bugged as well the first time I tried to do it. Yeah,
but you were pre-ordered, so maybe the beta or anything like that. I don't know.
No, it was just like probably about a week or 2 into getting it. Yeah, I like that. Thing I find about how I play it in combat, I don't know if it's just because I'm an elementalist and it's like that, but I sidestep in a circle basically around them, so they're constantly chasing you, and you just keep letting off the move sort of thing. It's like might be a bit of a cheat, but because otherwise most of the things, if they get to me, a couple of swipes and I'm down. I really can't take a lot of damage, no matter if I shield myself, I've got healing powers and everything. I really can't take that much. I can deal out damage, but I can't take it. What do you think about that, how they've gotten rid of the classes of like healer, tank and stuff
I do like that in terms of, I mean, obviously there's still a bit of it, like a warrior is going to be a
exactly. There's still a bit of it, but you don't need to.
You don't need 3 warriors, 2 monks, and then an elementalist and maybe a mesmer or whatever. Like I solo a lot, and it's only the big events that bring me together, and I do like that because, well, you're more independent at the end of the day. You don't need other people, but then it's always nice when you see someone else, especially when you're in a tough spot. But what I was going to say was, the only thing that I'm sort of a bit hesitant about is it's a real live event. Oh, something's happening that you're near, so therefore it's popped up on your map.
Why
and the reason I don't like it is because it's to do with the leveling. I think I'm missing out on a lot of them because maybe I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, or I don't know. I mean, I've never run past one and not done it, but I seem to be getting the same ones. Like I've transported one guy to and fro the same place like 10 times because I can't find any else. Or when they do say, oh, something's happened, because it's such a big, it's like a world event or something, it's always on the other side. So I spend so long trying to get there and then it's already done. So I'm finding that a bit, I think that needs to be fine-tuned.
Yeah, I totally agree. It took me a while before I realised how much you always just feel like you're just lacking in XP before you're the required level. But I don't know, I really went heavily into exploring because you can get a lot of XP out of exploring. You don't have to fight anybody, you just run, things like that. So I'd kind of recommend doing that, and it's a lot of fun too, because when you get the 100% XP, 100% exploration, you get a shitload of XP and money and resources and things like that.
Yeah, I got that for Divinities.
Yeah, that's just a small town sort of thing. Like, how far are you then?
I've done
the area below.
Divinity's Reach in Queensdale and one more, and I've just started in the bit where it's Ascalon, and I dropped everything and went for it.
Yeah, because that's just the thing. It's like I was doing that and I was having trouble. Then there's the 2 areas where they're both the next level up from Queensdale.
Right.
I was sort of jumping back and forth between the 2 because I was doing as many of the missions I could do in there, and then I did as many of the ones I could do in there, and it just got I was just enough I could do it sort of thing. Sometimes I needed a bit of help, sometimes I was lucky and things like that, but then you just keep doing that. I just kept exploring, doing the crafting and you get your XP up. Now I'm a lot further than I need to be, sort of thing.
Oh, right.
But that's kind of what screwed me with the storyline, because I could only do a storyline mission once every 2 or 3 levels, and it took me a while to get up those 2 or 3 levels, so I forgot what was happening in the storyline. And sometimes it goes, oh, you need to be level 13 for this story, and all it is talking to someone, and then it goes, right, now go over there, you now need to be level 17. And it's like, well, don't do that, you know. It's like, and then it takes me ages to level up again, and I've forgotten what the person was talking about. That's what I'm having a problem with the storyline. But again, that's just me not paying that much attention. But I do, you know. It
would be nicer if there was, because I do know what you mean, and maybe it's just me and you. I don't know. Like, feel free to comment if you listen to this.
Other people,
but I feel like I'm always behind where I should be, and I just can't figure out why. Because I'm doing everything. Like, I've 100%ed everywhere that I've gone. It's got to be. I think it's got to be.
When you reach a certain level, then you start going over to, like, say, Ascalon, and you completely wipe out their 1 to 15 level area. You'll get a fair amount of XP from that. Then you do, and you'll probably be about 20 sort of thing. You do the shitter ones where other races start off. That's what I started doing, and I've done pretty much everywhere that's below my level. Now I have to be staying in the level 40 areas, but yeah, that was kind of annoying. I didn't really like that.
One more thing, Chris, I wanted to ask you. I just realised this happens with every single game. Chris will get it, and then 3 or 4 weeks later I'll get it and flood you with questions. Apologies for that. But there's this thing, I think it's called like the Black Lion Trading Centre or something like that. I don't understand it. I do not understand. Because it's asking for gems.
Yeah, that's if you want to buy things like glasses and a hat, isn't it?
I don't know, because as the way I understood it is, to get gems you have to pay for it. But I can't. It doesn't say whether it's in-game gold or real-life money. Is it in-game gold?
Well, you can buy it in-game gold. I don't know, to be honest.
Well, I mean, what exactly is it?
I think it's to disguise the price of the things you're buying. Because there are some things on there, it's like, I'd never buy that. You can get things like more character slots. Things like that. There are some good ones, but like on the main page, it just looks like crap, like a baseball cap.
Well, I did see one that was like you can get aviator sunglasses. And I was like, so that's got to be real. That's what I was like, that's got to be real old money, because
I imagine they'll add more and more things to it, sort of thing. I mean, it wasn't even up, I think, on the first few days of it being released, so it was a bit more recent. But the thing I like about it is the trading for resources, because I cut down every tree I went near, I mined everything, but when I like turned it all into things and then made stuff, discovered new weapons and things, I run out quick. You run out very quick of resources, I find. So you have to start buying them on the trading thing. And I do like keeping an eye on it, like, oh look, that thing's actually quite cheap today, kind of thing. I love the
stock
economy,
market,
the economy sort of thing. It is quite good. I mean, that is true. You could do that. You could just farm a load of iron and then sell it, sort of thing. You could become quite rich that way. I mean,
or just keep buying it and then selling it for more.
Could be doing that, could do that. But yeah, so I'm getting more into that, because I was just like, that's just a waste of money. Why don't you just mine what you need? Why don't you just cut down what you need? But
you need a lot.
Yeah, like, you do need a lot.
Because my trading, I went for what felt right for a ranger. So I went for the one called Huntsman, because I was like, a ranger's obviously going to be a hunter. And I think Huntsman allows me to make my weapons for my class. And then I went for the one where I was like, well, I'm going to make my armour for my class as well. So I won't bother with the magic. It's not a tailor, it's something else. I think it's called Leather Crafter or something like that. But I can make bags, my armour.
Yeah, I can make bags as well.
And the amount of rawhide leather that you need for everything.
Yeah.
I've run out, so I've only made like 1 8-pack bag.
Well, that's the thing, that's what I don't like. It's woods, copper, things like that, I find a lot better. Exactly, easy. It's the things like vial of blood or a bit of bone or scales.
Which is
you just pick them up from people, and I don't like that there's not enough of that sort of thing. And I don't particularly want to spend a lot of money buying it on the trading thing, because then it'll just bleed me dry. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've got about 5 gold, I think, now. I don't know whether that's a lot.
5 gold is in gold, silver, bronze?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
I don't know whether that's a lot for my character sort of thing. That's the point. It's like, then again, I don't sell a lot of like the armour that I get. I break it down.
And remake
but
it, yeah.
I'm still lacking in that area, and I assume I'm lacking in the money because I can't buy loads of weapons and stuff without it bleeding me dry very, very quickly. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that when you get into the really tougher areas, things drop a lot more money and things like that. I'm going to start selling armour instead of cutting it down. I don't really like that.
What do you think to the karma points, which I believe is another currency?
Yeah, but I haven't used them. I've just been accumulating them.
So, I mean, because the way I understood it was supposed to be like, you've got your hero and you get to equip your face and your blah blah blah, but then you get like ring and bracelet and stuff like that, which I believe is what the karmas mostly you get. Because I've only bought 2 things, and again it's because I went to the Ascalon thing, and with the Ascalon thing, even though it was like ridiculously above my level to do it, all it was encourage morale, pray to the gods, and I was like, there was no combat involved basically, so I could do it. And then I went over to the guy to check out what he had for the karma, and it was like all the Ebon Vanguard stuff. So obviously I was like, right, I'm getting this. And I had accumulated because I've not used it yet. So I bought like an Ebon Vanguard bracelet, which I can't use yet because I'm not the right level, and like a diary belonging to the guard captain, which is gonna like, if I equip it, it will give me like +10 whatever. But I only bought it because I was like, Ebon Vanguard, I loved that. And I'm assuming that when I get to that level, it will be worth it because it appears to be that they're trying to be unique items. But it's a lot of things to have when you've got your money, your karma points, gems.
Well, I haven't bought absolutely anything with them yet. I've got thousands and thousands of them. I'm just saving up, I suppose. I don't know what I might get.
But so I think maybe they should have just had one money. And that's it.
Yeah, I think the gems really are. I don't know. I haven't looked that into it. I haven't bought anything with them. I haven't converted any of my money, so I don't know it fully. But it just feels a bit pointless. It does feel like Microsoft Live points. It's just to hide how much it really does cost, sort of thing.
Let me ask you this then. Going back originally to the idea of creating your hero and everything, you have the choice of charm, ferocity and dignity. Has that have any sort of impact on your character at all? Because occasionally I'll talk to a woman and be charm.
Yeah, I generally go for charm, but I don't know whether if I went for aggressive, it would do something different, or if she'll just go, don't like that, and then you just talk to her again and go charm, and she's like, oh, okay, I like that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how.
Because I chose dignity, but most of my options seem to be charm or aggressive, and they don't have a dignity. Because again, I'll be talking to women, as I do, in game, and it'll be like, yeah, go on then, flirt, charm, and there'll be no, but you did the right thing. So apparently, on my hero, my charm's like through the roof.
Yeah,
my ferocity is down, and I'm just really worried that that's going to come back and bite me on the arse.
Just stick with charm, that's all.
Yeah, but because I chose dignity at the beginning, I am worried that I've gone like cross class or something, and then it'll be like, to avoid the end of the world, charm 50. Oh no! But so I will be interested to see how that plays out.
It might be just completely pointless. It might have some proper reason for being. We'll have to wait and see.
The choice of 3 different factions as well. I've heard. That's something to do with that because you stop being a human and you stop being a.
Or you can join one of 3. There's like a scholarly type people. There's like the warrior sort of thing, and then there's like the stealthy spies sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how. I imagine that's where your storyline quite diverges because you get set. Before you join them, there are a lot of times when you have to make a choice. Like, do you want to sneak into the house or do you want to storm it with guards and stuff like that? I generally go for like the sneaking. Sometimes I'll go for the storming just to mix it up a bit. But when you choose one of the 3, I imagine
you won't be able to.
Yeah, I've got no access to them.
Now you have.
But I assume it follows the same storyline. It's just they attack it from a different perspective. Yeah.
See, I don't like. I mean, that would be good if you could join them all in a sense, because I imagine the way I see it is, you have your. Because I've done one where it was like, do you save the kids with a magical item, or do you just go in there and take the kids by force? Yeah. And I chose the by force one just because I figured the Ranger.
By force on that one, sure.
But I imagine so. Then it will be like, oh, get a flavour of all of them, then choose your one, but then at the end, bring them all together with your charm and dignity. That's how I figure it will play out. Well, see, again, this was one of my things, because even though it is what it says, it's an MMORPG. In Guild Wars 1, I only did the RPG bit. I never really did PvP or World vs. World or Guild vs. Guild. I never really did any of that. I was in a guild, and I'm in a guild now.
Really?
Yeah, well, some guy helped me out, like, massively. He helped me out, and he was like, do you want to be in my guild? And I was like, well, go on then, it won't mean anything. And they've got guild banks. So I figured if I need something, maybe I could raid it. But yeah, so I was really skeptical at the beginning, because I thought everyone's going to come and steal my kills. And obviously I know, like, I did my research, don't worry, I'm not a noob. I know that you only get the percentage that you're allocated. So if you kill him for 90% of the time and then the other guy comes in and does the final blow, you'll get all the reward. But I was still very like, dealing with people, they're going to like try and block me, or they're going to just be dancing in front of me. And I thought they were going to be traps, but so far I've been pleasantly surprised.
Maybe that's just the server you're on, sort of thing.
Oh yeah, that's a good point, because we're on different servers. And apparently it costs... That's the thing, it said you'd have to buy to get on your server, but it didn't say whether it was gems or real money, so I'm probably not going to get on your server, Chris. But yeah, have you had any funny encounters then?
Something I was talking about with my brother was when people they're getting chased by baddies and they drag them to you, so they get tagged off, they dive. Oh, everyone's done it, I've done it, but it's one of those things where you think it's a brilliant tactic when you use it. Like, you're getting chased by about 5 centaurs, and you just go, oh, there's someone, and you like run, and he's just standing there. But it really pisses you off when someone else does it. I've been chased across like fields with someone running after me, dragging a load of bastards behind him, sort of thing, until they just left and went off. It was funny but annoying, because it just makes you go out of your way.
To be fair, after they've started hitting the guy, I'll try and defend him. I only use him as
there are plenty of times when I'll jump in and try and defend someone, sort of thing. That's the thing. It's like in the first one, I very rarely joined up with real people. Much preferred to be on my own.
All the way.
But in this one, same as before, I'll stay with my own. But I end up fighting with other people, like on those world events and stuff like that. They just attract people like flies. And like I like that, because it's like you are fighting in like a big battle. I don't have to seek them out. I don't have to stand in town going, anyone doing this quest, join me, sort of thing. That was tedious. It was. I didn't like doing that. But in this, people just happen to be there, sort of thing. If there's another person that's going through the same cave as you, we join up, sort of thing. Not literally in a party way, but you can clearly see they'll wait till you jump in, and then they'll jump in as well, or they'll wait till you jump in and just run on past.
So what about the listeners? Comment and tell us about any times you've stolen something or tried to steal something, or someone's come and dragged enemies towards you when you've been AFK and then you're dead and there's no one else to respawn you. Let us know, And also, if you want to venture with either me or Chris, send us your Guild Wars name and we'll get in touch, quest and everything. I mean, I'm looking forward to a dungeon, and you need parties for dungeons, so we could do them. Well, that was the end of our first impressions podcast regarding Guild Wars 2. Let us know if you have the answers to any of our queries as well. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment or subscribe to our videos. Follow us on Twitter @TheMatchbox and email at matchbox@live.com. Right, well, till next time. Bye, Chris.